Yeah, 2 for 1 in one day. Ain't that wonderful? Okay, now we're going to talk because the 21st, I guess that was yesterday, was Father's Day. I want to celebrate my dad's life. I want to talk about my dad's life. So, he was a very protective parent. He he did pretty much what any parent would do. He did he worked. He had he we did things like we went out to eat, we went to the go-karts, we went skating, we went and did things. But most importantly, he was a father that really cared. I think in the same sense he was trying to actually protect us. Like when we were with him, he wanted to make sure that we were going to be okay. Now, he did get married one time, and then we found out, then we found out that his wife didn't like us. So he said that he couldn't be with her because if she doesn't like us, then he can't be with her because your kids come first. Kids always come first, and that's the way it should be. Is your kids should come first in some situations, but I mean we were little. We're teeny tiny. We're like 3 or 4 or 5 years old. Now that should be the situation, not no grown ass children. Anyway, that's the way it should be. And then so we're just gonna celebrate his life. I'm gonna tell you all the little things that he did. He was overprotective. He did most things that some people would never do. He sacrificed. He did try to get married. It didn't work out because his wife didn't like us. Like I said, we were little. We were like 3, maybe 4 or 5 years old. Maybe a little younger. He had a full-time job. He, like I said, well, like me, I didn't have much of a memory. I don't have much of a memory with things like that because I have AD. At the time I had ADHD, and then I had depression, really bad depression. So I don't remember much with neither one of my parents. But I know that he was always there. He was always there. I know that he bought us things like, a little truck. We had a big remote control truck when we were little. We had remote control motorcycles. We had pretty much anything we ever asked for. I know that we had iguanas, guinea pigs, cats. I had a cat. We had rabbits, we had dogs, we had fish, we had iguanas, we had gerbils that look like mice. We had everything. I had a cat because, well, I guess the cat fell in love with me and she was my favorite cat, and I guess my aunt because she started out being my aunt's cat. And I guess she just wanted to be with me, so my aunt just like, yeah, you can have her. And so I took over her. So she was my kitty cat. Her name was Kathy, and I really did love her. She had a little bald spot on her backside where she got burnt. But she was my favorite kitty. When I got 15, 16 years old, I had her since I was a little bitty kid, but whenever I got 15, 16 years old, my dad went to jail for, what was it? Endangering the welfare of a minor. So, my state grandpa, I called him up. I was like, hey, daddy just went to jail. I need you to come pick me up because they lost me. They didn't know where I was. Didn't even know that I was there. So they lost me. And then Grandpa right after work or right after church, he come pick me up. He said, "You and Kathy's going to come live with me or come and stay with us," because like we were supposed to be with Daddy for his 6 months, but I ended up with my grandpa for, or ended up with my grandma and grandpa for that little bit of time. And then that's when we ended up going to, I'm not sure where I ended up. I think I ended up with my Aunt Laura at that time, but they lost me, so they couldn't find me, is what was said. Mom's like, "Where's my daughter?" And they're like, "Your daughter? I didn't even know that you had a daughter. I thought you only had a son." So, like, she got a phone call saying that my dad had went to jail and that my little brother had went to jail, and she's like, "Oh, well, that's nice. Where's my daughter? You have a daughter? There was a daughter there too? There was a girl there too? I didn't ever know that." And what happened is the people who owned the hotel that we were staying at, her sister-in-law or whatever come and got me so that way I wouldn't go to jail because I didn't do anything wrong, or that way I wouldn't go to foster care because I didn't do anything wrong. So they kept me with them so that way I wouldn't go to jail or whatever. And because I was under the care of my dad, and then they told me to just go ahead and call my step-grandpa. And so I did that, and I just went with my step-grandpa. And I stayed with my step-grandpa for the rest of my dad's 6 months because he was in jail. And so that's what happened with that. But that was celebrating Daddy's life. But it's a 2-in-1 today. Happy Father's Day. I know it's like a day late. I've been sick. Sorry. Where are you going? Elvis. Say bye.